Hey everybody, Discipleship Gaming here in day 15 of our devotional series, Seek First 365, as we read through the whole entire Bible in a devotional series, one day at a time. If you guys have been joining me, thank you guys so much for joining me. And if this is your first day watching these videos, thank you so much. I hope they are an encouragement to you and that you are feeling encouraged, blessed, and that you can go and encourage someone else with these good news. So today we're going to be opening up in Psalm chapter 2. Today reading through that passage of scripture, and this is a really cool passage of scripture. It's the beginning of Psalms, and the Psalms were songs written to David by his choir masters or stuff like that, but they were able to write them out into kind of like, I guess, lyrics or into this so we could understand it a little bit better, and I thought it was really cool. This one is about when King David was anointed as king and how God has protected him over that. So the chapter 2 is titled The Reign of the Lord's Anointed, which was King David after Solomon passed away. And I really like this passage, just how it talks about what David, it kind of does a summary of what David went through. Like, people mocked him. It's like, you as a king? There's no way. Absolutely no way. But he was the anointed one by God. God anointed him as king. And I really like in verse 6, if you guys want to follow on with me, he says, As for me, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree the Lord said to me, You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask for me, and I will make the nations your heritage, and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron and dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel. So I really like this because it puts into perspective of what God did for David. So people made fun of David, and God was like, ask of what you want as king, and it will be given to you. But knowing David, he had a humble heart. He wanted what God wanted for him, not what he wanted for himself. And that was the big difference between Solomon and David, was David had a humble heart of wanting to do God's will, where Solomon wanted to do what he wanted and saying it was God's will. And there's a lot of people in this day and age, too, that actually say that. It's like, they do what they want and say that God allowed it to happen. And sure, God may allow things to happen in your life that you asked for, but in the end, sometimes if it's out of selfish ambition, God may be testing you to see where that leads, because sometimes he could easily take that away. And that's what I want to encourage you guys with today, is have a humble heart of when you ask of something of God, come with a humble heart. Be like, I want this not for my own good, but to help grow your kingdom. And that's one thing I love about David, is David became king because of his humble heart and his willingness to do what God wanted him to do. And I absolutely love that about David. David was such a humble person. And a lot of people might say that, like, in the later years, like, he wasn't that. But as we get into the story of David, we'll get more into that. The other verses I really, really enjoyed. Just reading on through this passage, verse 10 even says, Now therefore, O kings, be wise, be warned, O rulers of the earth, serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. That verse right there, verse 11, serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. So I kind of mentioned this before in another passage when we were reading through Mark, is when we say we want to have a fear for God, it's not about like saying, oh, no, like being like, oh, please don't hurt me, please don't, no. It's not like that. It's about like how servants would have a fear for their king. They would be like, you are the king. You can do whatever you want, and I want to serve you with my whole heart because I know what you can do. It's about having reverence and respect for God. And that's what this fear is talking about. So for us to say serve the Lord with fear, it's not about like a terrifying fear, but like a respect. Serve the Lord with respect, with reverence for him. Be like, you can do whatever you want, and I am honored to know that you want to use me as your servant to accomplish your work. And that's what it's talking about here. And then rejoice with trembling. Same thing. Having a reverence, being like, I know the power you have, so I'm going to respect that. And I'm not going to test you because I know what you will do. But if you guys get anything out of what I get out of this passage, is this one thing. Serve the Lord with a humble heart. Just like David, when he first was anointed king, when he killed Goliath. He had a humble heart, but he also had a brave heart. Everyone laughed at him when he killed Goliath, when he faced Goliath. There's no way. He'll kill him with a little But then what did David do? He trusted God. He grabbed that sling, put a rock in it, boom, right in the forehead, one shot. That's all it took. It's because he didn't rely on his own strength. He relied on the strength of the Lord because he knew that God was on his side. And he had the humble enough heart to realize that. And that's what I want to encourage you guys with today, is have a humble heart and a brave heart. So when you guys get into those times of trouble or distress, remember who's on your side and remember who is helping you in those times of trouble. And that's what I want to encourage you guys with today. I hope this was a big encouragement for you guys today. I know this has been a big encouragement for me. If this has, go share it with your friends. Go share it with your family. Go share it with people who need to hear the love of Jesus Christ this week. God bless you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend and have a great week.